Narayanam namaskritam naram chaiva narottamam devim sarasatim vyasam tato jayodhya nashtaparesho bhadresu nitya bhagavata sevya bhagavatyutam ashoki bhaktir bhavati naistiki nigamaka purud garitam param shukamakaram rita dravi samitam pibata bhagatam rashamaryo mahora hora sikubhuvi bhagaham Krishna sadam apagate dhammikane karonashta dushamisha paranako dunoditam Pamapi adavishuddha vishuddham vibhavasam apyarena virambirakaram prakyahidaham aram sankleshanirvanam asanti nanyataham. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhagavate Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Shamitanam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachani Nirvishesa Sanyavati Praskada Desadan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Good morning, Rob. Are you at home or are you on the road or are you at your work?
I'm at work this morning,
Okay, your sound is pretty good.
Prabhuji.
Nevertheless, tell us tell us your latest realization in Krishna consciousness this morning, if you'd be so kind.
So this morning, with what I was listening to, it was talking about how anyone can become a brahmachari based on their qualities.
Uh-huh.
It's not about birth. It's not about where you are at in this life, but it's about the qualities that you exhibit. And if you exhibit the right qualities, then you can become a Brahman.
It's like in the Warfield when there are men that desperately need medical attention. Nobody's going to examine uh, your 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 certificate, your bona fides. Um, Nobody's even going to question very seriously whether you're a doctor if you know how to stop the bleeding and keep the man alive. Then you're in great demand. There's a crying, desperate need for you. So, Krishna consciousness has nothing to do with upbringing or birth or genes. But it has everything to do with the training. Yade deke tari ko Krishna shamagna tare desh. Wherever you are, whoever you are, doesn't matter what your background, your race, your gender. If you know the science of Krishna, if you know how to deliver people from birth, death, disease, and old age, then you're a guru. And even if you know all the Vedas and all the mantras, chantras, you can do all the rituals and everything, but you do it for your own personal sense gratification, then you're not a guru. That's a good realization. So do you feel empowered by that to learn more, practice more?
It is empowering. And I'm not so uh, proud or egotistical to think that I can make it to the status of a Brahmin in this lifetime. I can at least nurture the qualities that I will become closer and closer each consecutive lifetime.
Well, all the cells of your body die and are replaced by new ones every 7 years. So one thing you can do is eat prasadam for 7 years.
I do love prasadam.
How's the, you said you're taking a session for the recovery group. Have you done that yet?
Yes, so I started hosting their Monday evening session, and that's been going pretty well despite some technical issues. The meeting itself has gone really well. We take from some 12-step literature and then we pair it with, in particular on Mondays, we pair it with the daily Prabhupada quote.
And you're going to do that every Monday?
Every Monday.
Do you want to give everyone information in case any one of our listeners wants to jump in on any of that?
Yes, so it's a part of the Bhakti recovery group that was started by the wisdom of the sages, and we're a 12-step based program that pair the 12-step teachings with Bhakti and Krishna consciousness in order to have a more focused program for people that are practicing Bhakti and need help with any kind of recovery issues, whether it be addictive behaviors, or even we have what's called adult children of alcoholics, which just deals with people that were raised in dysfunctional families in order to better release ourselves from this material engagement and become more focused in our practice, our spiritual practice. And the best, so let's see, the website, I believe, is the bhaktirecoverygroup.com. or you can email Bhakti Recovery Group. Oh, I need to look this up. We just put together a flyer that's kind of getting straightened out, and then I'll have a lot more information. But
So it can
I
be
do
for
have
people with
some documents.
people that don't necessarily have a substance addiction, but they do have a pattern of unwanted behavior as well.
Yes, we're a very inclusive group. So it can be anything from substance addiction to overeating to lust to any kind of addictive behaviors, whatever it be. I mean, it can even be shopping or codependency or anything like that. Anything that you're wishing to recover from.
Sounds like sounds like everybody should join. For, for one
It
reason.
wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, so the
The only
email
the only
is,
ones that the only ones I say that wouldn't have to join uh, would be the ones free from lust.
yeah,
Without,
and if you're that lucky, then
if you're one of the
congrats.
millions and millions on this, oh, sorry, if you're one of the millions of people on this planet, tongue in cheek, free from lust, then don't join.
Yes, and my respects go out to you. But the email that you can reach out to is bhakti recovery group at gmail.com. And they can provide you with the meeting list as well as the link to the Zoom. And we have, as of right now, I believe we have 10 meetings throughout the week. Most of them are in the morning times, but we do have 3 that are in the evening now.
There you are. If this could be of benefit to anybody listening, and remember, it's not just for those who are addicted to substances, any sort of addictive behavior, anger, lust, any of that sort of stuff.
And
Thank
we
you.
are completely anonymous and confidential. So no one need worry about exposing themselves to, perhaps something they feel is an embarrassing situation. It is completely anonymous. So anything that happens in the meeting stays in the meetings, and we don't share that information with anyone.
I was listening to KHQN radio in the car yesterday. I came upon a lecture, it's quite an old lecture. I haven't heard it for years and years. It's called The Truth About Yourself. And it's about putting away hypocrisy. So many of us, we want to present a certain look to the public when in fact behind the scenes we're someone entirely different. So much with Facebook and modern social media is all about pretense. And if you go to the most important verses in the Bhagavad Gita that reveal the mind of Krishna, he says, Paritanaya sadhanam vinashya duskritam. I come to protect the devotees. Now, a devotee doesn't have to be pure or perfect or free from sins. He just has to be transparent. A devotee is someone who, what you see is what you get. They're not trying to hide anything. They're open and upfront about the addictive patterns of behavior that they're still dealing with from their past bad choices and their past lifetimes. And in order to move forward on this front, I think it's very important to have that element of confidentiality. Everybody needs someone in whom they can confide confidentially. Not that you confide in someone and then they go tell everyone, oh, he's not qualified to be temple president, or he's not qualified to be cooking for the deities or something. There's so much tattletaleiism in our history. So the confidentiality, I think, is the first essential step for devotees to be able to unburden themselves, bring those deep, dark secrets up from the basement. The thing is with deep, dark things, for instance, you look in the basement, there's all kinds of fungus and there's mushrooms and all kinds of disgusting things growing in the basement. And none of those things can survive in the light of day. Often we think, well, if I told someone or if I revealed it, well, where then? It's so convoluted. It's been with me for so long. What's that going to do? Really, the process is just bringing it into the light of day, sharing it, expressing it, revealing it, confessing it. Then pretty much the problem itself cannot continue because it thrives on darkness. It thrives on secretive behavior. And so the element of confidentiality, I think, is the essential first step towards our having a worldwide society of transparency and providing the kind of help and counseling and friendship that pretty much every devotee needs. So good job there. Good job. I thought kind of free and easy today. I thought I would show this video, but now it's not. It's gone. It's disappeared. I had it all queued up here on the full. Okay, here we go. This is the ad we're running right now on social media for the Festival of Colors, which was rescheduled from March, from the spring of 2020 to September 25th and 26th. The cases are rising in Utah, but the good news is, or as I don't know, I mean, for a vaccinated person, it's a good news, is that the cases are rising among unvaccinated people. Those who are vaccinated are not hospitalized, they don't die. So those who are not vaccinated are at risk for getting the disease, getting it more seriously with more complications. The chances of being hospitalized are much greater and death is much greater. So while the cases are rising, those who are vaccinated, at least for the moment, don't have to worry unduly. Don't go into unventilated spaces where there's big crowds of unvaccinated people. Wear a mask if you like, just to kind of send a message that unless we all knuckle down, work together, this thing is not going to get under control. But anyway, that's all an aside. We're scheduled for September 25th and 26th. I've got my fingers crossed. We submitted our application to the county, and as soon as we get the nod from them, we're going to go full on. But right now we're doing one of those 70-day out advertising campaigns, and it includes this little video clip here. There you have it. Festival of Colors, hopefully coming up September 25th and 26th. We are trying through Facebook. Facebook gives you the facility now to do a online version of the festival. So if you're not able to come physically, there's a website there. You can pay $8.99, and we will come to you. If you can't come to the festival, we'll come to you with interviews with the artists, special shots from on the stage behind the artists, looking at the crowd, and Q&A as well. I haven't done it before, but I'm excited about trying it for the first time for the Festival of Colors. And even if you are going to be physically present at the Festival of Colors, this extra ticket, this extra access to this virtual version of it will give you more penetration. Interviews with the artists, as I said, better views from the stage and the entertainment, and the ability to ask questions and get answers as well. So we have both the in-person on September 25th and 26th, and there will be a live feed, which is only accessible to those who get their ticket as well. If you're a regular listener, a contributor, a Patreon member, or Nitya Seva, or donor, of course, you're welcome to come. We generally will accommodate those of you who are supporters and our friends 51 weeks of the year. However, on that one weekend, I can't promise accommodation in the temple because a lot of the artists stay with us, and we also have volunteers here pretty much all the time. And so that one weekend, it's pretty jam-packed. So I may not be able to give you I can always give a space on the floor if you want to bring your sleeping bag. but a bed cannot be promised on that particular weekend. However, there are a lot of motel rooms in the area available, all owned by Gujaratis, and you could probably ask them for a discount and they will give it to you. All right, seeing as how we're kind of easing into the subject matter today, I wanted to tell you about my day yesterday. It was a little more intense than normal, but it wasn't atypical. And it's the reason, in case you wonder why I can't get back to your comments and all right away. Yesterday's how yesterday played out might give you a little indication. Usually Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays I give the class here, and then I'll post it. I'll share it on the various sites, and then I'll put it on YouTube as well. Then I have to go into the kitchen. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, by Bobby and I are responsible for setting up the buffet, which opens at 11:30 or noon for visitors. We thought that being Monday, it wouldn't be so busy. Last weekend was a holiday weekend. It was the day that Utah got statehood. It's called Pioneer Days, and there were big celebrations, particularly right here in Spanish Fork. They had a carnival. They had a fair downtown in the park. They had a rodeo that went for 4 days, and the big $9 million stadium that they built recently. But we thought Monday things would calm down. So Bobby cooked just the minimum, not so that things don't go to waste. She cooked the minimum. And I was going to go in and what was I going to cook? I was going to take the latest zucchinis, about 10 or 12 big, deep trays full of zucchinis, all cut up, ready to go, as well as peppers, and then add tomato to it, and then the curd will be added later. So we have a big tilt skillet. It goes 30 gallons at a time. So I went in at 10 o'clock, wind everything up, went in at 10 o'clock, started cooking the peppers and all, cutting up the peppers, cooking the zucchini, made 2 big batches, about 12 trays of zucchinis. Okay, and then I thought, as long as I've got the tilt skillet active, I'll just parlay that into making another 5 or 6 big 4-inch deep steam table trays of chili. And for that I needed some more peppers, and I needed some celery. So I run down to the market. I had one of the volunteers start to cut up things, and I got a bunch of celery and I got some peppers, brought them back, had the volunteer. So we're cutting up the peppers and the celery, getting ready to do a big batch of chili. Well, in the meantime, out front, it's not a quiet Monday. There's a lot of spillover from the weekend. There's still a lot of families in state, on vacation, visiting the national parks, going back and forth on I-15, which is only 3 miles away and which has 2 of our billboards, northbound and southbound. So I checked the buffet about 1 o'clock, and there's 8 hot items normally in the buffet in addition to the salad bar, and 4 trays are empty, and 5 and 6 are just about to be empty. And there's people buying lunches at the counter. So I'm thinking, holy cow. So I took a bunch of pinto beans, I spiced them, made a chunks, threw them in. I took some buddy, those soy chunks, with some potatoes, cut up some potatoes, chanced that through, got that going. And I figured once I have the chili made, I can put the chili out. We got some rice, we heated up some rice, and all. We're just trying to keep the buffet open. We don't want to have to suffer the ignominy of telling somebody who wants lunch, we're sorry, we're out, we can't supply you. So things getting pretty intense. I'm doing the chili, I'm cooking some beans, I'm cooking some other preparations, I'm reheating some rice. In the meantime, there are people who are asking questions, they're going upstairs. Our front desk guy is trying to keep up with giving them tilak and giving them blessings, as well as running up sales in the gift store. And plus, we have our window washers here. So there's 3 guys washing 33 windows, front and back, and checking the screens and all. And they're sticking their heads into the kitchen every once in a while, asking me a question that has to do with that as well. So I'm trying to cook a big batch of chili on the heels of a big batch of zucchini, and trying to throw out things to fill up the steam table trays, running to the supermarket to get extra ingredients. It's pretty crazy, answering questions, trying to greet people when the front desk person is upstairs. People, and I'm also running up to, plus the phone's ringing off the hook. So, I mean, these are the kinds of problems that you wish you had. You know, you expect Monday's going to be quiet and slow, and instead you get 150 people coming through on a Monday. Then our neighbor, Frank, had texted me a few days ago that the plum tree in his yard was just hanging full of ripe plums. And that had been 3 or 4 days ago, and I wasn't sure whether any devotee, I passed it on to the devotees, but I wasn't sure whether anyone had actually taken them up on it and gone and picked the plums. So I thought that maybe, you know, I should go pick. I didn't know they actually had gone and picked the plums. So I went over there and I got the ladder. I got a bag. I got a big, deep steam tray, and I started picking plums. Turns out they had actually been picking, but there were still tons and tons of plums on the tree. And one of the things you have to do when you pick plums is you have to eat at least one in every 20. And sometimes the plums were just little tiny ones, and I thought, well, I wonder if they're hard. I wonder if they're unripe. So I better test every once in a while these tiny plums. I know the slightly bigger purplish ones are succulent, full of juice. I wasn't sure about the small, more reddish ones. But whenever I'd eat one of those, they were just like eating candy. So we're going to have plum crisp. We're going to have apricot crisp coming up here. And then, so about 8 o'clock at night, things had finally died down. I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't responded to the people who commented on our Motivational Monday class. But you'll notice that I did get back to you, although it was quite late at night. So Tuesday, we don't expect a lot of people coming, but we are completely wiped out on the buffet. And so I'm going to go into the kitchen and help by Bobby. She's going to cook some things. I'm going to make a big batch of halva. And so hopefully we'll be stocked up again, and we won't be in any danger at any time of telling people that the buffet is exhausted. All right, so that's all the housekeeping that we have here. Took us, it's already 7:53, but let's circle around to this verse here, which again is the 20th verse of the 5th chapter, 1st canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. And putting up with all this rambling here, we appreciated Brent, Jean, Bobby, William, Sanjay, Govinda, William again. All right. See who else scrolling down. Goradas. Thank you. Goradas says, devotees have opened their hearts in groups where there is a promise of confidential, but there is no guarantee that that confidential will be honored. Thank you for that thought, Goradas. Transparency and truth is the key, William Griffith. We have to be truthful and upfront and open with each other, and we have to be loving and forgiving. Everybody has areas in which they can come up higher, but we need to have the strength and support and friendship and confidentiality of other devotees in order that happen. Jai Vikarya. Okay, thanks, Jai. I think Jai's from London. He stops in and visits us every once in a while. Okay, lots of comments. Fantastic. Maybe we should ramble more often. It seems to inspire you all. All right. At least we'll be able to say a few words on this crucial verse, which we're revisiting here on Transcendental Tuesday. Idami Vishram Bhagavati Vetaro. Yato Jagatstana Narodisham Vavaha Tadihi Shayam Veda Bhavam Setavite Pradeshamatam Bhavata Padashitam. The Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, is Himself, this cosmos, and still He is aloof from it. From Him only has this cosmos emanated. In Him it rests, and unto Him it enters after annihilation. Your good self, Vyasadeva, Narada speaking, knows about all this. I've only given a synopsis. And Prabhupada says in the purport that the whole Vedic version is that the cosmos is nothing but the Lord himself, inasmuch as everything is emanating from the Lord. The sunshine, even the clouds, are really nothing but the sun, because without the sun, you wouldn't have the sunshine and you wouldn't have the clouds. Now, neither the sunshine nor the clouds, although they are identical with the sun, can ever be greater than or equal to the sun. They are subordinate to the sun. They are non-different from the sun. At the same time, they are not equal to the sun. And Prabhupada gives the example that the hands of the body, the legs of the body, the ears of the body, the eyes of the body, the mouth of the body, all these parts of the body are non-different and identical with the body, but the hands can't perform the function of the ears can't perform the function of the eyes, the legs can't perform the function of the arms. So they're identical with the body as parts of the body, but they're not equal to the body. However, the body of the Lord differs from ours inasmuch as any one of his senses can perform the full-fledged functions of any other sense. Lord Brahma says, Anyanyi yasya sakalendri vritimati pasyanti panti kalyam chana anadachan mya shadu jvala vigrahasya govindam aripurusham tamahang bhajami. It's actually nice in one way not to have the virtual background, because I can use my hands freely and gesture without them disappearing and obliterating with the virtual background having encroached upon them. So I think although our background is less inspiring, I can be more inspired and more expressive in my presentations. Be that as it may, the hands and legs are the body, but they're not the body. They're simultaneously one with and different from the body. And so this material world with which we have so much attraction and to which most people who are here have sold their souls in order to get temporary material benefits, has attraction. The attraction of this material world is only because it comes from the spiritual world. It is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. If the substance is attractive, the shadow is going to have a certain degree of attraction as well. The sun is all powerful, but because the sun is all powerful, that gleaming orb in the sky that gives life, that gives health, that inspires us, gives joy, confidence, obviously the byproducts like the sunshine are also attractive. They also give health, they give joy in their own way. So that this material world is attractive is only because it emanates from, it's a reflection, it's a shadow of God's world, which is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. Prabhupada says Krishna is the transcendental form of beauty, cognition, as well as eternity. So as much as the Lord is fully cognizant, fully beautiful, and fully eternal, obviously the energies emanating from that dazzlingly brilliant Lord are going to be extremely attractive, but not in their own right. They're borrowed plumes from the Lord himself. Now the conditioned souls, captivated and entrapped within this material world, are lured by the material atmosphere, by the sunrises and the sunsets and all the different manufactured items that you can produce from combining all the different energies of a Lord. They get enamored by this material world. And that's understandable because Devi hi asha gunamaye, in the 14th verse of the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna certifies this material world as also being made of Devi hi asha gunamaye, divine energy. The material world is emanating from the original spiritual form of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, it's naturally attractive. And in fact, this screen, this chimera, this phantasmagoria of the material world appears such that it's very difficult to penetrate beyond it and see the ultimate reality of the Supreme Lord, from whom it emanates, who maintains it, and who rests after this material world is annihilated. It says right there in the first verse of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Tejo varimidam tatavi nimatvi shargamisham damnashvela narashtas kuakas param satcham dhimahi. Even to the great demigods and sages, this material world appears real and factual, although because of its temporality, it is unreal. We look in the desert and we see what we think is water, what we're convinced is water. We know it's water. We move towards it. But if you stop and think for a minute, wait a minute, there is no water in the desert. If I'm seeing water in the desert, I have to stop. I have to think about that before I commit my time and my energy towards chasing after that water. Intelligent man will realize that, wait a minute, there's not water in the desert. I shouldn't waste my time looking for water in the desert. I should go somewhere where there is water, and my time will be fruitfully used in order to get that which will satisfy my thirst and maintain my life force. Water exists, but it does not exist in the desert. You see what I'm saying? Reality exists. There is a world, which is our real home, from which ourselves as spiritual beings originate. But this is not it. We may mistake this world for the real world, but that's only because it retains many of the characteristics of the spiritual world. But there's one great shortcoming in this material world, and that is that matter is conspicuous by its absence. If you want to differentiate the material world and the spiritual world, if you want to differentiate shadow and substance, reality and unreality, truth and falsity, it hinges on one word. That word is matter. Everything that exists in this material world exists in the spiritual world. Mountains, trees, oceans, sunrises, sunsets, houses, civilization, cities after a fashion based on natural raw elements. But there's no matter in the spiritual world. This material world appears to be real, just like the reflection of a tree on water appears to be real. There are branches, there are leaves, there appear to be fruits. It appears to be vital and robust and healthy. But you have to wonder, you have to ask yourself, why are the branches of this tree down and the roots up? You have to think about that. You have to start with the factual knowledge that the real tree has the roots down and the branches up. So no matter how real this tree looks, you got to be able to be analytical enough to know that, hey, wait a minute. There is no real tree with its branches down and its roots up. With its branches down and roots up, that is the definition of a reflection of a tree on water. You have to look elsewhere. You have to take that 180-degree plane under which is the reflective tree, and you have to look up to that tree whose roots are down and branches are up. Then you'll find the real tree. Urdhva mudamadashakam ashatam yakcham tattejo vidimamakam. If you see a tree whose roots are up and branches are down, you have to know, quid pro quo, that is a false tree. It may appear as reality, but actually it is only a shadow. It is only a reflection of the real tree. And similarly, this material world, as alluring and as attractive and as variegated and interesting as it is not real. It is just a shadow reflection of the spiritual world. In fact, there is no reality in this manifested world. It appears to be real, but it is temporary, and therefore that disqualifies itself as being objective and real. Nasato vidyate bhavo, nabhavo vidyate ubero pridushantas tu anayas tatvadarshtabi. The definition of reality in Bhagavad Gita given by Lord Krishna is that which never ceases. And the definition of unreality is that which never endures. This material world is disqualified from being real because it does not endure. It's in a constant state of fluctuation. Tato nyata yad kinchana vibhakshara pritagdu shashat krito rupa namahi nakarichit kapita dushan labeta batahar nere bashpadam. It says it is a world of names only. It is a world of names with no more significance than the foam on the beach. That when the waves come in and then they recede, there may be a little bit of foam left behind on the beach. This material world has no more substance than the after effect of the waves in the form of foam on the beach. Now, one who accepts this material world as all in all, discounts any world of which this could possibly be a reflection, is making the most critical and tragic of all mistakes. It's missing the cause of all causes. It is said that if you know the cause of all causes, everything becomes known and nothing remains unknown. And if you miss the cause of causes, then whatever you know is all ignorance. It is just ignorance in different forms. If you're in a dark room, you may categorize, you may accumulate a lot of knowledge about that dark room, but it's going to be misleading, and it's going to be partial and fragmental and even dangerous at best. I read a Back to Godhead article a number of years about the kamikaze Japanese pilots during World War II. They were trained how to take the plane off, how to take off, but they weren't trained how to land. They were trained how to navigate out to the target, but not how to navigate back again. So sometimes partial knowledge can be fatal. You need full knowledge. So partial knowledge, the so-called scientists and philosophers of this material world, the empiricists, the godless researchers, for them, partial knowledge can actually be lethal. Asatyam pratishtam te jigaro aparasham himanyat kamahaitukam prabhavati agaram. Krishna predicts in the Bhagavad Gita that those who take this material world as all in all, asatyam, who think that it just appeared randomly or by accident, ugraha karma, engage with a great sense of pride and hubris, thinking that we can solve all the problems that we face. The material scientists go about improving our life, reducing miseries and increasing pleasure. And the result of it is predicted and certified by the Lord to produce more miseries than the miseries that we originally set out to solve. It's a rubber band effect. The more you stretch the rubber band, that when eventually it's going to snap back and it's going to sting you. It's going to hit you. It's going to hurt you. There's a verse I'm just learning now. It's Yadartaya Kamani Vidvam Mana Shakin Nara Karoti Otoyo Viparayasham Agom Vindati Falaham. So it's thinking themselves very intelligent and very advanced. Men with a higher intelligence, more gifted by the Lord, higher intellectual capacities. They think they can solve all the problems of life by scientific, technological advancement. But the end result is that the so-called solutions they produce end up producing more misery than the problems in the first place. So it is a tragic, critical omission to ignore the spiritual world, to overlook the primeval cause of all causes, and thereby detach one from the tree. The twigs, branches, flowers, and fruits of the tree which are detached from the tree are no longer identical with the tree. Those same fruits and flowers and twigs, once they detach themselves from the tree, have no more meaning, have no more context, have no more identity, no more value. They dry up, they wither, they yellow, and they just blow away in the wind. The tree as long as those elements are attached to the tree, they get the advantage of all the nourishment, of all the vitality which the tree soaks up from its roots deep into the ground, the nutrition from the earth, the hydration from the water. So attached to the tree, the fruits and flowers have meaning. They are the tree. They're identical with the tree. But detached, they no longer have any value. They no longer have any identity at all. Just kick them. We rake up the leaves, the yellowed, dried, crinkled leaves in the fall, and we burn them. We just want to get rid of them because they have no more any value either to the tree nor to anyone else itself. In the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd verse, 10th chapter, Krishna says, Name vidu sharaganam prabhavam manishana hamadiride manishanam jasarvashaham. This world appears so deluding, so enchanting, so real, that Name vidu sharagan, neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. I read a verse the other day that having been produced from the lotus flower that grows from the navel of Garbhodakshay Vishnu, who himself is produced from Karnadakshay Vishnu, he is produced from the Pradumna Shankarja Aniruddha fourfold expansions of the Lord, having been produced from an expansion of expansion of expansion of the Lord, and then appeared self-born on the petals of the lotus flower, Lord Brahma could not discover his origin. He could not discover his origin. He's several stages removed from the original Janmadiyasya Yataha. The example is given that you can no longer discover the seed once the seed is fructified. Once a seed germinates and sprouts and produces little leaves and fruits and tomatoes and eggplants and green peppers and zucchinis, the original seed can no longer be found. So as this material world telescopes out, as it manifests, and as we become enamored and entrapped in it, we can no longer discern the original seed, the cause and the source of this material world. Then we're left to speculate without access to those who have seen the truth, without having taken shelter of the descending line of disciplic succession, which is established by the Lord, and to which is entrusted the confidential knowledge of the Lord's name, fame, form, and pastimes. Without that access, people are left on their own to speculate about the source and the origins and the purposes of the material energy. And the best that the speculators can come up with is that the source of everything is Brahman, undifferentiated, homogenized, spiritual energies. But Brahman is described by Krishna as Brahmano hi pratishtatam, inferior to the personality of God. People think that personality must be by definition limiting, because personality is limited. The source of all material and spiritual worlds cannot be a person. This is a mystery which is known, which is unlocked only by the devotees coming in the unbroken chain of disciplic succession from the Lord. Krishna says to Arjuna, Saivam mayadharam yoga prakta bhakto same sakachiti rahasihetaram. This most confidential, we talked about confidentiality in the beginning amongst devotees. So we'll come full circle and also talk about confidentiality. The secret of knowing the cause of all causes, knowing which everything becomes known and nothing becomes unknown, outside of which all of your so-called knowledge is just different permutations and combinations of ignorance, destined and doomed to produce more problems than the original problems that you aspired to solve. That confidential access is available to whom? Maya madajana yoga prakta bhakto same sakacheti rahasyahe itaditama. Krishna tells Arjuna, I'm singling you out of all the people who inhabit the planet at this point in time, of all your contemporaries and peers who inhabit the globe, many of whom are more intellectually adept than you, many of whom are more austere to you, many of whom know more scriptures than you, many of whom are more detached than you, many of whom have qualities which you do not have. Nevertheless, Bhakto Simesika, I am imparting to you, I have chosen you out of millions and millions of otherwise highly qualified saints and yogis, gyanis and ascetics. I'm choosing you, Arjuna, Bhakto Simesika, because you're my devotee as well as my friend. Just read the Bhagavad Gita over and over and over again. Bhakti tu ananyaya sakya, outside of friendship and service to me, anyaya, which is uninterrupted and unmotivated, there is no access to the supreme primeval Lord, who is our Father, who is our friend, and who wants us back to home, back to Godhead, more than we want to go ourselves. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thanks very much for being with us, Transcendental Tuesday. We didn't give you as much philosophy as we normally do, but we covered a lot of territory today and obviously inspired quite a few comments here. I'd like to thank Bren and Jean, Bobby, William, Sanjay, Govinda Dev, Goradas weighing in here, Jay from London, Jean, thanks so much, and thanks for your likes and your comments. Let's see if we get the list here coming down. Everything's just gone pale here right now for some reason. Oh, here we go. Ram Nashringa, thanks for your like. Mukunda, Haribo Rasangi, thanks for joining us. Natasha, appreciate your jumping on board. All good, all well and good. This has been Transcendental Tuesday. We're going to hit the kitchen today and replenish the buffet because we were wiped out yesterday on the Monday. It wasn't a long weekend. It wasn't a holiday, but it was a Monday after a holiday weekend. Not even a national holiday, but a state holiday. July 24th is a Utah holiday. There were thousands of people in town over the weekend enjoying the festivities here in Spanish Fork. Thousands of people coming and going to and from the national parks. We had visitors from Denver, we had visitors from Florida, we had visitors from Minnesota, we had visitors from Kansas and Arkansas, we had visitors from California. We feel so fortunate to be here, right just 3 miles from I-15 on one of the busiest arterial freeways in the nation, and with our signs out there informing people going south to Vegas and Los Angeles and San Diego, north to Salt Lake City and Yellowstone, that there is an oasis. There is a wonderful place where you can exit, a quick on, off, back on again, have your vegetarian lunch and salad bar, visit some of our wonderful animals, purchase something, a memento in the gift store, feed the fish, do a little chanting, get darshan of Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Sri Sri Radha Krishna, Gornitai, ask questions about the meaning and purpose of life to our resident devotees, then be on your way. Thank you, Lord, for putting us in this wonderful, ideal location so we may serve our spiritual master and aspire to put a smile in the face of Srimati Radharani by sharing the good news of the existence and the superiority of the eternal, real, substantial, spiritual world, of which this world is just a temporary reflection. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Give you a moment. I see a whole explosion here of fireworks, emojis and hearts and things like that. William, you have to be careful. One previous time you did it so much that Facebook banned you for 24 hours. So let it be others than William. Everybody pitch in. Thank you. We'll be back again tomorrow for Motivational Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday, 23 hours from now. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,